Good morning, everybody. Today is July 27th, 2019. This discussion is my ongoing talk about stuff in my life with the relatives and or whatever they're called at this point, who are gang stalkers. Let's just establish this again and again. And to make a long story short, I want to talk about a further issue of the word control as it relates to my coming and going and other things. Okay? I want to establish some facts. I go out early in the morning for the first walk between, I'll be honest, let's just say from basically 6 to 7:30 a.m. It could be any time that I leave, especially when it's spring and summer. Now, the female, the wife of the male relative, doesn't go out at this time. All right, unless she's going somewhere special. Fact. Second fact is the aunt of the male relative, who now lives there, is basically the main surveillance operator, listening. A lot of talking on the phone and conferencing and whatever with the other members. Third, I have relegated myself back in June 2018 that I have no obligations to this aunt as a friend just because I'm in what is called the so-called circle, not group, circle of relatives. Those are the established facts. Now, here we go. About a year ago, a little bit about a year and a half or even more, but it's getting to the point of 2 years almost in a sense, but I'd say a year and a half ago, just at a point, a few things started to elapse. Now, before I broke off with this friendship with this lady, I saw what is called the coincidental meeting of people I knew from their circle who just all of a sudden appeared at the plaza. And that's when I started really coming to a point of saying, this friendship is no use to me. Okay? No use. I struggled with it because, I'm one of these people that I can take so much, but it was starting to wear me down. I'm saying to myself, I think this is when I was starting to get a little bit more, it was this evolving thing that I started to see where I said, this is really draining me to the point of where I'm not functioning like scholastically and whatever. There's something about this person that triggers me. So I declassified myself from this lady. So that was the incident that was the introduction to the separation. But then I noticed one thing down the line, just a few months within, that all of a sudden this lady is at the plaza at the same time that I am. I just noted it. I know about the same time exits and all this and this and this and this. But the Monday that just passed, from today's date, I had gone out about 9:30 a.m. I got into a cab, went to the plaza, and guess who I saw? This lady. Coincidence? No. So I said to myself, I know the story. Okay. As I was getting more and more disgusted at looking at this lady, there's something that reviles in me with this woman. So when I saw her, I said, okay, I'll let it go for this particular observation. I finished what I was doing and I backtracked, and there she was at the snack counter, and bottom line was, I'm looking, and she was bent down, and I was videoing her. Interesting, right? But what's interesting is this lady came to that counter where she doesn't normally come to that counter, and the lady that operates that counter is I would say surmise a GS perp. Why? Simple. They will, the organization will approach anyone or business that you deal with. And I used to buy stuff to have breakfast, okay, there. And this lady normally gets to her counter before 9 a.m. to start putting the trays out and whatever. So a week prior to that, I went out for my walk about 9:30, and guess who comes along? I was standing in the middle of a driveway, and there this vehicle was slowing down, a white van, whatever it is, I don't know. And I'm waving it away, and she opens her window and she says, "Do you want to go to the plaza?" I said, "No, I'm just walking up the street," and I let her go. Coincidence? No. Same time exit? Yes. Let's set that all aside. I'm going to work on the relatives. The relatives, way back when I first re-met them, 2012, at the point of the highest, just a few months into the overt stage of the program, they said to me, "You're really an independent woman." If I was looking at it now, I'd say, there's something going on here. And this is when the tear down of my person started. And obviously, as it evolved, I knew that they were indeed GS perps. But I will tell you, I still tolerate it because I didn't know that abuse of a person's freedom and rights or beliefs is not normal. So we've got all this back under our belts, and we understand what it is. And the next thing I started to notice was they were always, like, I'm going to say that when I started to really watch them was from 2016, with such a scrutiny that they wouldn't even believe. And I'm just going to say it this way. Remember I said about the female never goes out early? Times that I go out? She started to appear outside. A lot? No. Not at all. It's mostly the male that does this garbage. Always? No. Let's be straight, okay? And he said to me one day, as I was waiting for my taxi, he said, "Oh, do you want me to take you too?" I said, "No, I'm waiting for a taxi." He knows that I will not step in his car, because that's where the abuse comes from, his narcissistic personality and GS personality. He has, I would say maybe 2 years ago, he would drive me to his son's basketball thing, and then he said, I'll come back later. He'll come back later to it. And guess what? He'd be in the middle of the road somewhere out in the country, and he would be coming on with his accusations and his garbage. So when I look at all of this, I think, no, I'm not stepping into that car. Neither nor. Even with the female now, she is what you call, she wants information. All right? Information. Things that have no relevancy to anything. So as the story goes, I've got quite a repertoire of experiences. And I tie all this in to the mentality of the GS nation. All tied into tactics and whatever. And this is the thing that I refuse to become a puppet of these things called whatever they're called. I'm just glad that I have come to a point of where I recognize there's no emotional ties. It's the anger that is now more or less coming out in videos. I don't want to waste my energy, time, thinking about them. So I just voice it now. And it's coming out in stages. And I guess, to be very straight up with you, I've already started my investigation on, I put levels on these investigations as an amateur, although studied in school for it. I put it in levels. I'm at level 1 now, where I'm in the preparation stage. Now, I'm going to do things a bit differently. I started to understand about cataloging important videos that relate to it, or audio, whatever it is. I'm starting to understand. And I'm getting to the point of where I know that good record keeping is one of the best things. So, having said that, I was going to do some other things today, but I think I will be working on what I call my GS portfolio, because I have things on my mind that I want. I've already incorporated a very basic level of dealing with other TIs. I try to keep up with some of them so that I know that they're okay, who need a support system. And obviously I can do better, but that takes time and effort. I don't trespass on their personal information. I don't really. I respect their own insights, their own comments, as long as they don't cross the line with me with being inconsistent or even being derogatory. That's when I start to say, no way, Jose, I don't really want that in my particular curriculum. So I'm pushing forward. I just passed one course yesterday, Friday, and I will go on to the second one, which is very important because I have a love of writing. And when I write, it really becomes also the voice that I speak of. So having said that, I'm going to be making my point out there very clear. I don't advertise gang stalking when I'm walking around. The bottom line is that when you live in a small town where there's really no support system, you have to be very careful of what you're saying and doing. And I'm not at a point where, I really don't want to get into a mess with these relatives of saying, or, you know what I mean? Because I believe that, with all honesty, the complexity of gang stalking, because it's organized crime, cartels, whatever it is a very precarious thing. I'm just one person, but I have sort of people on social media that sort of are around me, which has helped me. And I don't want to lose that cognizance of the fact that that has been very helpful in my own growth in many ways. The voice has returned.